What's up, all you fanatics of the campus gridiron? Glad you could join us for another edition of Gridiron Gab Triple Option. Whether it's the touchdowns on and off the campus gridiron, or the extra points during the recruiting wars, or the big time matchups on the big time weekends, let's start gabbing. Welcome back, all you fanatics of the campus gridiron. Hope you guys are doing great as well as your loved ones. I am back. I am Mr. CeeLo, here to talk to you about the third of Mr. CeeLo's trio of big games that you guys selected on. And we follow up with, I like to call, it was our most heavily voted game of the week, which was Ohio State, number 6 Ohio State, and number 9 Notre Dame. Well, as many of you know, I am an Irish fan, but I'm going to stay as biased as I possibly can, if that's possible. Right now, Ohio State's they're carrying a 5-game winning streak in to South Bend, and analytics are predicting that the Buckeyes are 66% chance to beat the Irish, and of course, you guys know, this is against all odds, in my opinion, because looking here at the statistics above all, you're looking at whom in Kyle McCord, who has 6 touchdowns to 1 interception, and he had a game where Marvin Harrison Jr. and Egbuka, I'm having trouble with these names, guys. And these guys were non-existent, and they got back on track earlier this month. Well, in the middle of this month, I might say. But very good player. Just his name's a booger. And this is not to say that running backs Trayvon Henderson are not tough guys to deal with. That's not to say that at all. And what's really important to remember about this game is that a lot of people are saying that Notre Dame is outmanned at every single position, from every position except one, which is quarterback, of course. And of course, you have 2 good running backs from Ohio State, and Henderson and Trainium. And honestly, I'm not sold on Ohio State's running game. To me, it's like, I get it. They're 1 game up on Notre Dame as far as, games played. But let's look at it. I mean, I get it. Notre Dame has a backfield committee, and they do. They really have a committee when it comes to their backfield, which I think is their strength. They have so many guys that are deep here. You only got one other guy, and that's Love, that has over 100 yards rushing. And you've got Payne that's got 76, Jadarian Price with 76. But what makes this receiver room this running back room so deep for Notre Dame is that it's so hard to take the ball out of Audric Estime. He's already halfway to 1,000, guys. He's already halfway. And if you think about it, he's on the verge of a 1,500-yard season. And this is a guy who's had, I would argue, about half of his carries, potential carries, go to other guys. And this is very scary, and considering the guys that they have on this roster. And let's not even talk about where we're looking at as far as the receiving game. The receiving game, we already know where you're going with Ohio State. Egbuka and Marvin Harrison Jr. You don't know where you're going with Notre Dame. Let's look at the dispersity here. You got Jaden Grayhouse. He's got 3 scores on the year. He's got 10 catches for 126. Then you got, who is the arguable deep threat in this team, Tobias Merriweather. 6 receptions, 141 yards, and he's averaging 23.5 yards a carry. Then let's fast forward to Chris Tyree, who's another guy that's a deep threat. 8 catches, 216 yards, 27 yards a grab. Then you look at Jaden Thomas, who arguably is a deep threat. This guy averaging 15.7 a grab. And not to mention Hank Stays. 6 catches, 123 yards for a 20.5 yard average. This is incredible. And this is not even counting the fact that Colsey hasn't had a grab since week 1. Hadn't had a grab since week 1. And the question I have is why not? And I don't think it's Colsey. I think we have so much talent. And people are going to say, oh, well, it's because of him not doing this. No, I think what it ultimately boils down to is that Jared Parker is such a good schemer. And listen, Parker, you need to find a way to get him the ball. Because listen, you got these guys up and down the roster. I mean, let's look at this theoretically. You've got 2 guys that have double digits in receptions, but neither one of these guys lead the team in yardage. Your top 2 guys, 2 of your top 3 guys at Notre Dame who average, these guys don't have 10 grabs, but they're right there 2 and 3 as far as yards. This is what's got to worry you if you're Ohio State. Notre Dame with that inside 1-2 punch. This is what made the Georgia Bulldogs such a dangerous team and the Alabama Crimson Tide when they were at their best. Them being able to run this football and then take their shots down the field. We already know what Ohio State has with Marvin Harrison and Egbuka. They have guys that can get down the field. And honestly, both teams have 2 lockdown cornerbacks, arguably. But what separates Notre Dame from Ohio State is they have multiple options at the receiver position. And not only that, Kyle McCord hasn't shown he can go through that palette of receivers. That's going to be the difference. Now, I'm not saying Sam Hartman won't be reckless with the ball, but I can tell you one thing he's not going to do. He's going to identify the 2 guys at Ohio State in that secondary and the safeties. He's going to recognize these guys and he's going to say, okay, this is not where I'm going. And the beautiful thing is, looking here, you got Tyree, you got Thomas, you got Merriweather, you got Greathouse, you got Stays, you got Flores, who's had a big last 2 weeks. Even Mitchell Evans. I mean, folks, this guy has thrown touchdown passes. Look at this. Look at this. He's thrown to 7 different guys. He's thrown touchdown passes to. Kyle McCord, this is his first go-around. This is what's going to separate this game, to my knowledge. Ohio State's I think they've got Notre Dame beat in every position except 3. It's going to be offensive tackle, wide receivers because of their numbers. And I would argue the running back position because I think Audric Estime is on another level than the 2 running backs Ohio State has, but we'll have to wait and see. I still give Estime the edge a little bit, but we'll, for the sake of argument, say Ohio State. I still think Notre Dame has the edge. But quarterback, this is not even close. I see Ohio State attempting to play, and this is where Notre Dame's got to take the. They've got to make Ohio State play their style. They've got to make Kyle McCord play their kind of ball. If this turns into a situation where McCord has to play well, I think this plays into Notre Dame's hands. You don't want to end up in a situation where McCord's able to settle in. You want him to have to make plays early. So I think this is the way I look at it. I think Notre Dame runs the ball, tries to run play action, and get that defense off balance. The way I look at the Ohio State approach, Ohio State's going to try to run the football and play the same way. Try to run with play action. And try to get... They're going to move Harrison around. Him and Egbuka, they're going to move those two guys around. Because they do not want to be in a situation where they have to lean on Kyle McCord. They're going to try to make his job a lot easier than really what it is. And looking at a lot of individuals that are calling this game, you got a lot of people that are taking Ohio State. And I think a lot of it is because they haven't watched Notre Dame. They haven't watched, they're banking on Ohio State doing what they do. But I'm telling you guys, quarterback position is huge in college football. You got a playmaker at quarterback that knows how to read defenses, has the playmakers to get where they're going to get. It's tough to beat a guy like that. And I'm going to tell you something. Notre Dame's got something they have not had in probably in the last 10, 15 years. And that is a quarterback with confidence. Ohio State's going to struggle here. I think it was Emily Kaplan on one of the ESPN shows says that Ohio State's better than Notre Dame on darn near every plat as far as players go. But I would venture to say there's a couple of them that they're even. That would be cornerback and possibly a running back. They're even there. And I think Notre Dame has the advantage in tackles. They have both tackles are better than Ohio State's, and Sam Hartman's miles ahead of Kyle McCord. So I'm giving the edge there because Kyle McCord is the guy that can control this game. This is not going to be one of those games where Kyle McCord can sit back and wait. It's almost the equivalent to the Clemson-Duke game. You had a quarterback that was asked to make plays as opposed to one to not lose the game. And it's going to show. It's going to show. But as far as my prediction goes, I think Estime goes for 100. And somehow Hartman throws for 300. But somehow, I also see, this is going to sound weird, I don't see Ohio State getting blown out. I kind of agree with what Lou Holt said. I almost believe with the crowd there and Kyle McCord's really first hostile start in South Bend, I don't think it's going to be a good start for him. They're going to have problems. I think there's going to be penalty after penalty, especially with Kyle McCord not doing this before. I see Notre Dame controlling the first 3 to 4 drives. This game gets semi-ugly. It's going to be, and to me, I think it's going to be a lot like the Clemson game last year, even though we don't get 2 special team blocks and a pick six. Well, we possibly could. I mean, I kind of see Benjamin Morrison taking one to the house. So any of you guys that are Ohio State fans, I'm sorry for showing a little of the biasism, but I honestly think that Marvin Harrison will have a decent game. I think Egbuka has a pretty good game, but Kyle McCord is going to have to be that guy, and Al Golden's going to bring the heat. I think Ohio State attempts to bring the heat with their 4 and 5 guy fronts, but I think Notre Dame's going to counter that with probably some tight end and some screens. And Notre Dame has the same amount of athletes that Ohio State has. I would even venture to say that their roster is better. But as I said, Ohio State goes in with a 5-game winning streak and possible national championship aspirations on the line. But Sam Hartman is the leader in the country in touchdown passes, and he leads the league with 7 plays of 40 yards and plus. And that has no declaration of who it is. You know, Merriweather and Tyree are the 2 guys you got to watch out for. It used to be one guy. Now all of a sudden, Jared Parker's doing a great job spreading the ball around. And when you have a quarterback that does that, and a coordinator willing to do it, Tommy Reese, that's what you get. So I'm going to take Notre Dame 41-27. 41-27 Irish. And if you guys have objections to that, please hit me up on my Facebook page or on my Instagram at Mr. CeeLo. But guys, as we get ready to wrap this thing up, let us do this. Let's go back to the Facebook page and see what you guys finally agreed upon, because it's very important to me that I get to see you guys and your input. I really enjoy watching you guys, give your input and say what you have and what you want to do. It's really a lot of fun. And 92% of you guys said that Estime will run for 100 yards on Saturday. Really awesome, guys. Thank you so much for all the participation. And now let's look. Will the Irish pull the upset? 84% of you are saying yes. 9% of you are saying no. I think it was interesting watching Aldrich Estime on the Pat McAfee show. I'm a fan now. I thought he is just, like McAfee said, he is just built. He's built like a linebacker. Oh my goodness. And I think that's what's going to happen in this game. I think what happens is they get to the point where they're trying to tackle Estime. If Ohio State's defensive line does not get this guy, they are in for a long day. And I think they're going to be in for a long day anyway. I think Estime gets kind of contained the first 2 or 3 drives, and then all of a sudden, between rotating backs and possibly worrying about Sam Hartman taking shots, they're going to start throwing that thing down the field. And then what happens is that softens that defense. Linebackers are not able to get in position as they should. And then you get guards and centers able to come off blocks and move up the field. And I think getting Estime in the open field is going to be huge, as well as the crowd. But as I said, guys, hit me up the next time. I think what's going to happen is we're going to be able to run. Notre Dame's going to be able to run the ball. I think Ohio State's going to have their best chances to run the ball and get play action pass. That's going to be their best opportunity, and be able to keep Sam Hartman in the pocket and force him to throw into coverages, which I don't think he will do. I think he's going to understand, like he's done earlier. He's realized that, hey, listen, I can't do certain things, and he's going to do that. I think he's not going to do that. But until the next time, guys, make sure you hit me up if you have any comments or questions. Good comments. Don't make me call you out. Until the next time, while you're tailgating at one of these fabulous facilities this weekend on campus, remember, same Gap channel, same Gap platform.